team.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me do that again.
Yeah. I think last time when we started, we talked about this reality that the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah, maybe we can get a little recap of that.
Yeah. So I guess really the whole point is we're trying to evangelize both to parents and teens, right? And the reality is that we live in a time and an era where religion is less and less vital, right? It talks over and over this idea that kids are raised without a religious identity, which is unusual for us with our kids, right? It's very much a part of our identity. And so we're trying to take a new approach, try and meet people where they're at, and introduce the sessions that we're about to dive into for the next 4 weeks in Life Teen so that parents can be involved and that their kids can be a little bit more excited. So,
Right.
yeah. This one is Highways and Halos, which I really liked, especially after you read it.
There's the book. Yeah, it was really good. I can be honest. I only really got halfway through it. I was kind of busy this past week, but yeah, it was really good. I like the first two sessions. I think they're gonna be really good. Talking about vocations and one thing I got out of, especially the first one, is like vocation. Like we're all called to the universal vocation of just being holy. A universal call to holiness. And it's different from like marriage life, priesthood, religious, and we're all called to that universal vocation.
Yeah, and I like that idea of vocation and call. I think they get mixed up all the time. So, like, even today, as I was doing some rereading what I had prepped for, right? Like, a call is that internal aspect. We're all called to God. Whether you accept that call or not is different. The vocation then is that external way to put into practice
Right.
that internal call, right? Whether that's priesthood, marriage, single life. So it's like, what is my role with the church? That becomes the vocation piece. But we're all called, it reminds me priest, prophet, and king. Like we're all, when you're baptized, that's your role, right? We're
Right.
all meant to sacrifice. We're all meant to care for the community. We're all called to spread the word of God. Like if you're Christian, that's your baptismal call. And I
Right.
think that relates back to what you said, that universal call to holiness. So yeah,
And we have some great examples in the book too. Like the first session is called "Departing Now." That's going to be a good one, and it actually talks about Saint Carlo Acutis and how he was a 15-year-old kid. He wasn't like a priest. He wasn't a religious. He wasn't married, but he was still was able to live that call to holiness, and now he's a saint. So he's a great example that we need to live by and look up to.
Yeah, I know. Maybe Father will be mad, but I always, when we used to pray the prayer of vocations, and they never mentioned the single life,
Yeah.
it would drive me nuts,
Yeah.
right? Because look, for Zadi, he never got married; he just became a saint, right? Carlo Acutis, he also didn't get married, right? So
Right.
they intentionally lived a singular life because they felt that was the best vocation. Doesn't mean I think if they lived longer, they might have gotten married,
Right.
probably. But I always think about that. What does that mean to be holy and single? I can't describe it. I'm married. You can't describe it. You're married. Father could describe the single life, but he's also taken on religious life. So that even that's, I had an aunt who never got married. Right, I knew of some people that chose to intentionally be single, like not pursue, but stay. I don't know. So I'm always curious. That one always gets me because I don't get it. I mean, you enjoyed the vocation of your own daughter this past week, which is exciting.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
How'd that feel?
It was good. I was actually asked something during my other two daughters were trying to get ready for their speech, their maid of honor speech, and they asked like, "What's some marriage advice?" And the first thing that came to my mind was the word sacrifice. Right, like marriage to me is sacrificing yourself for the good of the other, and that's what I told them. So they used that in their speech a little bit, which was awesome. But that's exactly what they said in when you're talking about marriage. It's sacrifice, like dying of yourself for the better of your spouse.
Yeah,
What about you?
yeah, I love that. When we talk about the word love, I always chuckle because I'm like, man, love gets so misused in the English language. Like if I say I love pizza and I love my grandma, I'm
Right.
hoping people understand the difference, right?
Yeah.
Because the love that you just mentioned, which is charity,
Hmm.
is doing the will, like willing the good of the other. Like it's
Right.
other people oriented. Loving pizza is about personal pleasure,
Right.
right? That sense of happiness. And so I love the new stickers that are out right now that say, do what makes you happy. They scratch out the word happy and they put holy,
Ah,
right?
I
Because
haven't seen that.
to do what's holy
Yeah.
sometimes doesn't feel good,
Right.
but is it ultimately good, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's what each of these vocations is going to entail. Are they
Hmm.
always going to make you happy? No. Are they always going to help you draw closer to God and be holy? Yes. That's because you listened to the call and you enacted that call into the physical action of single, married,
Right.
religious, priesthood, right? So,
Yep.
you know, I universal call to holiness, difference between the word call, vocation. In fact, Latin word for vocation is vocari, which means to call. I think that's also why it gets very
Hmm.
confusing, right? Like, so it's the same thing, but one's internal that then leads to the external. And
Right.
that's what I learned recently. And that's what helped me make sense of it all.
Join us on October 26th. We have a night called The Party Now.
Followed by November 2nd, which is by land.
And November 16th, we have By Sea.
And then we're going to wrap it up in December on the 7th with a session called By Air. So join us on these wonderful adventures where you get to explore vocations and your call, which is great. This guy,
That guy.
these two Catholic guys.
Right on. God bless.